In the UAE, I left Pakistan, thought I could seek refuge here, but found the laws very strict and abiding by them. We could not, they would not cooperate with me. Psychiatrists, that, and then of course my brother, who was helping me financially, then he had to get married also. He had to join the military here. So I just had to then get him free from the financial help thingy on that came on him for me, and had to take recourse to the government help, financial help here, which of course, taking help from him also. My brother, I was asking my father, how would we pay him back? So they were saying, don't worry about it. But I was still worried. My youngest. So, and then I was also reluctant to take financial help here. They destroyed me, or I let them. Some people, some friends even so-called, would tell me, blaming me, that I allowed them to destroy me. Yeah, it may have been very tempting. You know, these people, and I've been saying prep talk, but it's actually pep talk. Anyways, I'll just go on saying prep talk, because that's what I'm used to. And it sounds better than pep talk for me. Prep talk. Okay. So pep. Okay, I'm used to. Head is hurting. I can't prepare for this. Against all odds, they could have got me really bad. I don't know how to prove this or what I went through. I've been many live streams. People have been pretending they don't know what is happening here. What is my case? Many people lying, pretending since and working underhand. Okay, there's something in the bathroom, washing my hands. I realized, so there was a free bird coming here, and he's even commented on one of my live streams. And so I gave him a heart, but then I removed it, and I thanked him, the comment I removed. Because you see, I'm able to say this properly now, which I wasn't, although I mentioned it before many times in my live streams about free bird. Please, the thing is, when you come here, please don't test me. When you know a lot, since I thought Freebird knew a lot about this religion, even Shia hadiths. Now, you can, of course, we can say, please don't test us. But you're going to do it anyway. No please, no pleading, no begging. No reason can make you not test us here. So, you see, he must have tested me on this, because on Surah 33, ayat 37, you must know. So first you should tell me what the Muslims think about this, what they say. What is their tafsir, since you know hadiths from Al-Qafi, Shia, religious Islamic sources. And and he even told me, oh, you wouldn't go to the hadiths, right? But he gave me a Shia hadith later on. So when he knows so much, instead of telling me, oh, that there's no divorce here, and Zed doesn't say that the divorce took place in this ayat, Surah 33, ayat 37, and the Iddah, where's the Iddah in this ayat? He shouldn't have come like this, free bird. He should have come telling me that this is what the Muslim position is on this ayat, the tafsir is, and this is what he thinks should be. This is how I do things. But if you want to mislead me, then it's misleading, right? Telling, since you know the hadiths, you know so much of this. Coming like this without the tafsir, first give me the position of the Muslims. Like there's no idda? Of course there is. This is how the Muslims, then when I check the tafsir, because on every ayat, on this particularly, I wasn't checking. I did this on this ayat, but I never checked the Sunni hadith tafsir on this, Surah 33, ayat 37, right? So this way is deceptive, like you're misleading me, knowing knowing that I'm sure, okay, even if Freebird didn't know, let's say, that I don't check tafsirs, although he knows I don't go to hadiths, Sunni hadiths, and he must be knowing that I have also said that ex-Muslims concentrate on Sunni hadiths and they help Sunnis to leave Islam, not Shias so much, not Shias. Okay, there can be a Quran error, but a Shia some time ago, some Zaidi name, first name, Shia Sayyid came on my channel, StreamYard, and said, yes, there is this mention, there's this mention in Al-Kafi that Imam Mahdi will come and he will bring the Quran, true Quran. So some Shias, even if there are scientific errors in this Quran, some Shias will say, so I had to explain all that to the Shias. You're not supposed to say that. That, if there are scientific errors, this is not the original Quran. Or, Shias also, tafsir, you can see how they try to defend this. Like the Sunnis defend, let's say, scientific errors in the Quran. Or the error on embryology and the growth of all that, right? And many like medical errors in the Quran. How would you call it? Cosmological errors and all. Shias also can do this. So I wasn't able to say this properly, and it took so I was thinking, there's a friend, there are people who, it took me 20 years. And not even then I thought I couldn't until I found Bren Brown, like her wordings on feminines, enemies, friends as enemies, frenemies, and how they come and and I thought I would never be able to. Even if I have all my passion for my case, since she said that she's going to, her husband, she sent here, and over there in my house, in the bedroom, she's like, oh, you want to put your head on the shoulder of a man. You need, you need a man's shoulder. In year 2000, there's taunts and all this. Really cheap people, I would say. I find this very cheap and very unethical. So, as if she hasn't used men in Canada, to help her with the luggage. And her mother was worried about, anyways, she needs to get married, that's what her mother would. So I get married so that somehow she's inspired because of me or something. Oh, the burden her mother put on me. That तुम क्यों शादी नहीं करती हो? अगर तुम करोगी तो फिर शायद मेरी बेटी follow, तुम्हें follow करे. Oh God, why aren't you getting it? Oh, so that's terrible. It's not gossip. So it's against all odds, because then I found that in the UAE, insulting someone, talking like this, and her. So I wanted to build a case against these people. These they also have a streak of narcissism, and they're like, oh, we never heard it. I'm a harmless creature, right? So, judge here, I thought, okay, I'm going to stand in court since her husband here in one of my years back videos on another channel against her, I uploaded a video. So although, she's able to, we don't, like my great-grandfather, he wouldn't. And it's the same thing as in me and was in my mother. We didn't like using, making friends with all these well-known people. And like, oh, like, all that. And so knowing well-known people here also in the UAE, and I've heard wasta idhar chalta hai. So in the UAE, wasta. So maybe I'm fighting a losing battle here, because, and another thing is, I can't work, like I said in my previous live stream on this. But the title is different. Sorry, I have a cough. Perpetual dry throat. So, and these kind of people we can't catch. And I get really enraged. But I haven't got angry at her, ever. But if you look at this this asset, Canadian asset in UAE, if you look at, but I have no evidence, St. Michael's School, high school A-level, I left second year and joined St. Joseph's College. And she was there. And she's the one who lashed out at me, blaming me for being jealous of. Okay, so in St. Michael's, we started to play cards with the coins, money. That's gambling. So how much coins we were actually gambling, cards, playing cards in school, like outside, during our recess break period. So all of us. And then one of my uncle and his wife came from Dubai. And then I told them, let's play this with, gambling, like with money. And then my uncle's wife, who was in our father's community already, right? Then she got married to my uncle, but she was already from my father's side community. They used to play cards and all this, and she said, how the group dispersed. And her grandfather and my father and all this, our community dispersed, playing cards, jua, gambling. She reminded us, and she's like, I'm really scared, right? Our group might disperse like this, like the way her grandfathers with my father and all group dispersed. And so I went to St. Michael's and told them, no, I didn't tell Laika or the other Aisha, the ones who, Aisha Khan, who was, what was her name? I told this one, Saima Peer, right? Then one day on St. Michael's feast day, We had the tambu set and all this, right? The shamian, oh, what do you call it? All that. And at the end, it all ended and people had left. A lot of students had left. She lashed at me. She said that, oh, you're just jealous. I never said a thing to her. I don't know why she just lashed back at. She didn't lash back at me. She just, oh, I didn't even say anything to her. I don't remember offending her in any way. I don't remember, I don't taunt friends. I have a very high tolerance of even male sometimes to make their life and all this. So if they, do something, I had a very high tolerance. So to save their lives and make their lives, right? Sometimes, yeah, I would get very angry in a party with this friend of mine, male, don't come near me and this and that. And sometimes, then I decided that this is the way to deal with them. So, even if he did something, I would then I try it's a I wouldn't taunt friends, female friends especially, male friends. If I don't like their attention, which I don't, and I don't. So this, anyways, I do. Okay. Although one friend said that you have a very high tolerance with your friends, with this friend, I wouldn't taunt like this friend started to taunt me when in year 2000. But somehow, out of the blues, she's told me that I'm jealous of her group. I like her. So I was going in with Ernestine and playing. I was a referee there in St. Michael's. Ernestine made me sports referee, in sports games referee. Or going in the nurse's room and all that, just talking and with Ernestine, the nurse, and sometimes Miss Desai's cousin would come, Philippa. So I stopped, right? But I just told them that this is. And then one day, out of the blues, this friend, she has snapped at me, you're jealous of us. That's why you're jealous of you're jealous that, oh my God, I was like, and she doesn't hurt her. She doesn't, and when she thinks she wants to be judged, she wants to do justice in her thoughts even against someone. So I was jealous of her and Aisha, her group, her friends like her in St. Michael's School. That's why I told them, I suggested not to indulge in this playing cards with coins, because I was jealous. Even though I gave the background that my uncle's wife who has come from Dubai, they've come, and this is what she told her. Oh my God, I said this to them, and yet I was blamed by this who was my friend in St. Michael's also, from O levels, CES, Center for Advanced Studies. Hasn't hurt a single, no one. She's a harmless human being. Oh God. So there are people who come. Oh, and when God gives you the strength in year 1989, So, you know how they come with a smile. Every person who smiles at you. Research. Brand Brown says, research shows. Research. You know this. Okay. This and another thing is that Sayyid Yusuf said he may have tried, I don't know, but they told me that before Matsar, I know this, and that I would get to know the reality of people and the inside stories. And B. Fatma Tazara is coming and telling me this is not your friend, and she takes the name, and that is not your friend, and this is your enemy, and this is, and this, like that. But what I don't know is maybe Atif Malik is not Miss Mary Caleb's brother, but he does look like her, and that. But her brother's name is Anand. Like I've read her obituary and eulogy on her. I found Google searching. So, but the best of like when Mrs. Munira Gulzar went to college. Maybe, so I couldn't get, but I had this feeling that whatever I'm telling Atif Malik, I thought, okay, sometimes that I'm deluded or something. So it hurts. I mean, it started to hurt a lot, right? And people, they give pep talks. Anyways, and another thing is that I don't know, but when I went to college in year 2000, I had graduated in 1993, but I hadn't took out the original degree, and I didn't have to give it in London. I gave my O level. They took my O level certificate. So I hadn't taken out my degree original from St. Joseph's College, meaning going to Karachi University. We had to, not St. Joseph's College, but I had to get attested by the principal. Then, after graduation, whoever the principal is now of St. Joseph's College. So I went there, and Miss Mary Caleb was the vice principal. So, so I felt a kind of a cold distance, a cold feeling. Anyways, there's one good thing about the Muslims is that we are very warm people. If we are like very warm, not like the Christians. Sorry, it's just Christians are British. They're very level-minded. British people are very level-minded, but there's this lacking of this warmth. Although I love it, like that's the way okay, they're like this. I'm not criticizing, but the thing is, we're very emotional, and sometimes even like that gets to us. There's a positive side and a negative side, and also the Muslims are warm people. Like they would hug, kiss Iranis, and Arab blood, and me, Pakistani. So that the Christians lack. Sorry to. So this is like a candid. It's not like I can't. Lubna. I'm not copying, but I have had this word from before, like frank. Some people might get offended with this, and they would want to even complain that she's spreading hate. So hate and discrimination. But if you recently see, and that Hamdard boy also want to get, the ex-Hamdardian, the principal, my time's principal, Mrs. Munira Gulzar, when she retired from St. Joseph's College, went to Hamdard School and Karachi, and she became the headmistress, then principal there. So recently, a Hamdardian had come on my Facebook page. So I've left Facebook now, and just that I can't find a way to delete my account. But I've logged out and I've removed Facebook from my devices that I'm using now. And so I don't share anything on Facebook, but this I will be sharing on X platform. So about the, which one is it? Oh, yeah. So about the heat, some video I found that the Europeans, one from UK or someone, or maybe America, sorry, can't remember, like saying that they're done with this thing of, love and not hate. The radical Muslim, they can't take it. So if the thing is going to come on them that they hate Muslims and Islamophobia, they don't care about it anymore, right? Senator Tuberville speaks on the Senate floor. I'm just searching where, if I could find it. So just my eyes. This also banned Sharia law. Look, it's not because we hate, and maybe even like targeting. Like I would say, like give the name out and don't make us like say, oh, okay, if you're yeah, it's good, okay. So, but I would say bring the name out. This is how I work. So we have some, like now I'm copying Lubna, like some bad apples. So if like, look, ban Sharia law, right? Even thank God, Senator Tuberville speaks on the Senate floor about the radical Islamic extremists, and now you can say we hate you. We hate you. That's why this is Islamophobe. They hate Muslims, and they just in the name of radical. So I don't know how to say this properly, but really, second time UK mosque. Where is it? So I'm done. Oh, I've just removed my Facebook, so I can't check. Uninstalled it. I shared this on my Facebook, this particular video yesterday. That they are done with being called like, oh, love and not hate the Muslims. So they can, where is it? I can't find this, sorry. So calling out bad apples also, like Lubna Candid. But I haven't subscribed to her because I didn't get any help from her, and I don't know about her. Well, I'd rather not comment right now. She's got her problems, and I've got mine. But you see, the problem with me is that I'm a liability, and I didn't realize that, so at first, like taking financial help from my father's country, that I don't, maybe, if they can afford, if they like, they can bring changes here. If they don't like, but who am I? Who am I to fight for my life? And there are some people, like even a disowned family member of mine recently, I disowned forever. And other, there are some people, friends. So this is what he was saying, like maybe because living, or maybe even in Pakistan, like this Atif Malik and Sayyid Yusuf Zaidi. But Sayyid Yusuf Zaidi got what he liked and wanted. Atif Malik didn't. So some people can live without, if you are rejected by a loved one, or if you can't marry them, you can't get them. And then they give pep talks. And another thing is that they think, and they're with you, yeah? They're trying to help you, patronizing or something. Or maybe even if you are sin, but there's something missing in you. But, however, maybe you've made it through empath, very painful. You've made it through, and I don't even call myself an empath. I shouldn't. I see that I have some streaks of, skids, sorry, narcissistic, right? And I can't help, and I'm crying about it, worrying about it, but I can't do it. Go out and help them. Whatever is happening in the world, and it's getting worse. So when an empath loves someone, they can't have it breaks them open. So this is something that maybe I don't know, the people who think that their pain is greater than others' pain, right? Like a friend was telling me that her in-laws, because someone had said something against her. So although she's gone through a lot, but that my thing, like over the phone here, like she was like, no, your thing is not that serious. My thing is that my in-laws would have gone against me when this lady, she said, at a wedding something happened, and here in Dubai, I was like, and before, like she had her first marriage, that like so before that, I've had my crisis in life, but she had a crisis with her husband. But having a crisis, loving a teacher for her may not be important. So I was like, she's changed coming to Dubai, like living in Dubai. And I don't have evidence for that, but it was one of the times when I was in a hotel apartment with my father here in Dubai and talking to her over the phone. And there was a problem at a wedding, and then something happened, and so it's from her in-laws, and if this one has said something against her, then this would cause problems for her in-laws against her, my friend, who was my friend, right? And now she's married to my cousin, oh, so she was telling me, I mean, that no, like her problem, can you imagine that? Like, it's worse than my problem. And I was like, so shocked. So, although, maybe, yeah, as Pakistani Khojas, we are not as strong as my father's Muscati Khojas. I was just telling myself not to bring this out. So my disowned family member also, maybe because maybe it has to do with our community here in Dubai. So I don't know. I'm not sure. So telling me that Harik ko apna problem, and maybe I, Zara do, others have. Okay, if you have problems, please, can you do something about it? If you can't, you see, before that, I used to keep quiet, and now what's happened? like to that Hamdardian. Okay, who would do this? Now tell me. Pakistan is on the brink of destruction. So, because, you see, we have neglected so many things, ignored in Pakistan. Who would do this? So I said, get up, talk about it, do something like Sayyid Muzammil. Maybe not my style. That take each and every person who has wronged me, in my family member, we have kept quiet. I gave my sister away to someone who said, oh, I will make her more, and I couldn't trust her. I don't know how I gave her away. Like, okay, she's coming to you, you are, but like, they fed her hate against us. I kept quiet. When even my brother, younger brother, 5 years younger to me, when they were complaining that my father is not giving enough money for my sister to them, said, tell them, tell auntie, tell them to, he told my mother, he said, tell them to send Homa back. And I didn't say anything. Like they were complaining against my father that he's not giving enough sufficient money for my younger sister. We kept quiet. Another time I kept quiet. No. Another time only on the phone. Like you can't reach these people when they do dirty, vile, criminal. From small things happen. So on one hand, I appreciate that UAE on insult. Okay, one insult said, if you're not well, they should see this, but they're not going to see anything, right? I will be the one. There was a lady who screamed. Man screamed. They left him. Lady screamed. They put her in prison. Or what? Like. So although, there should be this, but considering mitigating circumstances, the case of a person, mental illness, but even the psychiatrist here was hard on me. And never do I want to go to a psychiatrist hospital here, mental hospital. Although I'm at the mercy of UAE, right? So beggars can't be choosers. And we are like liability, burden. And another thing is prep talks and, inspiring people. But you really don't go deep. Another thing, okay, Sayyid Muzammil, like my father, when in Karachi, was saying, we need to go to the villages where these madrasas are, where these radical Muslims are. He didn't even say radical, he said where these Muslims are doing. So we have to hear on social media is getting harder, stricter. No, there will be no freedom of speech anymore. It's going to be go to hate. Say the truth against Islam, and also some so if research in a very unbiased, proper manner. Islamophobia, they scream against us, against those who in a very level-headed, reasonable way, not carried away like some of these free bird coming here and like that, or some of the Christians and ex-Muslims even carried away, like Adam Seeker and all this, Sam Shamoun and all, bullies, and also a nasty, rude Nuria Khan type with Adam Seeker. So now what Sayyid Muzammil, do this. Who would do? Oh, let this little kid sorry, I have to insult him like this, because the way he insulted me. So he said, my father for the longest time was saying, in Karachi, like in Pakistan, what is this? You know, our Imam Bargas taking suicide bombs, killing people who were praying namaz during salat. And even if they weren't, they're in the Imam Barga, it's their sacred mosque type. And we have a mosque also, if you think Shias don't have a mosque. For God's sakes. That's where the Azan takes place from. So the male go there. It's not only that Shias have a Imam Barga. I have to clarify some things for the Sunnis. Who will do this and who will do that? अगर हम neglect कर करके, चुप कर करके, माफ कर करके, I believed in this who was spreading false rumors against us everywhere. My neighbor, she turned against dirty looks. My mother's other relatives, Harina and Masuma auntie, turned them against me. That even recently when I was meeting them in one of the sisters in Mehfil Shah Khurasan, Karachi, I couldn't say hi to them because I remember, because I have my inhibitions that they may not like. Patani, I don't know what my mother's cousin told them. She made everyone go against me, whoever she could. And there's no way they won't ask or anything. She has a knack. She had a knack of doing this. I kept quiet. Even my grandaunt, who I loved so much, admired, look up. She came, asked me, and I said, no, Mimi, I don't take her to men. She said, Zahra, I understand. I got it. And she left. Mimi came to our house just to ask me that, Zahra, you take... and this person is older to me, like my 8 years something. She went to my grandfather, her uncle, with her mother. Mutar recently told me. We've kept quiet about these things. And then between my mother and her aunt, a fight took place in the house. Guess what? So these small things, now you see UAE, but sometimes it's a very... I don't want to get into trouble, right? But I'll be honest, even if they get offended, it's too strict. Insults and lying in the UAE, like they should give some, like, right? Lying are illegal. It's like a criminal offense. Severe penalties. AI overview says this, has given me this here. Let me just read it out. I'm really tired. There's a very bad energy. It's hurting me a lot. I'm trying to... I can't. I've just woken up and headache. Because I had a headache, I didn't want to get up. I'm so tired. This applies to online insults also on platforms. So like if Pakistan had this and we don't complain, our hearts become soft. So on one side, we don't know that we're not firm enough like Christians would be, or like a Christian teacher was, right? One bad, after all, like, maybe, and holding grudges and all this. We forgive and forget. This applies to online insults on platforms like social media and private chats, as well as offline insults. Now, I wasn't able... You know how crazy I went against this Chanda? Here also, like recently, like if I can't say to her on... So I couldn't, say it to yourself, Zaidi messed up my case, what made it worse. And then he's told me to go to the psychiatrist. God knows, maybe they tried and they're going, principal blamed me. After 8 years I've gone and she said, you failed me. God knows. Okay, so I became really bad. I cursed, abused in year 2000. But before 19, I think I lost my grace. Again, that grace, I've been tired, I was abroad. No one's going to understand. And I feel kind of guilty giving excuses at times. That what I was, see, sometimes I feel guilty, yeah? So, yeah, like I don't think I, so, yeah, listening to inner pondering, like there was a time injustice done against us, left, right, and center, and I would keep quiet. Yeah, learning from his disaster, it started after the separation. After 1983, in 1984, and thereon words until 1989, when I got a grace from God and I changed, I was like, you people, I mean, in the market, तुम लोग झूठ क्यों बोलते हो तुम लोग अपने कंट्री को डिस्ट्रॉय करोगे यू डिस्ट्रॉय एंड अपनी मिस्टेक क्यों नहीं मानते हो why do you not admit your mistake so that और सॉरी क्यों नहीं बोलते हो और मीन इट व्हेन यू से इट एंड मैं तो मिस दिशा की उस्ताद बन गई थी लाइक इन दिस right? She would hit the roof and I started to hit the roof with the Pakistanis and even Bangladeshi cooks that we had. तुम लोग इस country को खराब करोगे तुम लोग lie so on lies and all this and making a mistake, don't make excuses. Accept your mistake and say you are sorry. So that way you can make amends. Realize your mistake. It's your mistake you made. And you're making excuses, dilly-dallying and all this and, beating about the bush. Sorry, dilly-dallying is not for this, beating about the bush. So, neither am I perfect, like I have my own. And I used to say that instead of, forget it. Let go. Like I never told my mother that Mamie came and Ajri does this against her sisters also. We used to laugh. There came a lady to find the truth about us from Hyderabad, Tandutoro. So I never, but because, the lady came and so my aunt, Gauhar, me and Muqaddas, we sat. And the lady said, I came here to see that if Hajri is telling the truth about you people. Oh, she says this. She's told us you're prostitutes. Even this. See, she said, I also smoke. And she taught us how to smoke from the nose. And then also to put the long clove. She said, it doesn't make you prostitutes and all that. Like Hajri went so far as to go to Tandutoro because she has this Ejaz by Mirza, Sindhis, Hyderabadis. They're living, and these people, Hajri and all, one of my mother's aunt's daughter, they came near our house, right, to live, and upstairs like Maimans and downstairs them. So they weren't that rich to afford a full house, maybe. So they were lucky enough to get a ground floor, first floor of the house with the Maimon's share. So they came near our house. My God, it was terrible. This Hajri telling, even like she had a knack of lying to my grandfather in front of her, taking her mother against me. So I take her to men. So my grandfather said, I said, what did... So Mutahar told me the whole story recently, like in year 2000. over the phone. She in Canada and I here. I was like, Mimi came. So I was trying to find out, like, who could have done this to me? Who could have sent Sayyid Yusuf Zaidi? And it was my sister's computer also. And they had made my sister kind of a little weird. So I couldn't make myself, to get along with her because she was from their side and they loved. And Yusuf, this Agha Mahmud, he hated me or something. I couldn't get. But, the other, like Hajar auntie and I grew up like in their, like Hajar auntie, the same sister and the same cousin, like were so different from these. And when they were in Karachi, they were more close to us than they were close to their own, like their mother's sister's children, I think. They were more close to their mother's brother's children. So, and Mimi, there's, so, the like, God, come. So, anyways, so we kept quiet. Point is, that so much so that even our neighbor Haji Amdan, my father's uncle's house next to us, so they went to Dubai for good before us, all of them, and they sold it or to the Maiman. There's this one Maiman lady there, and now Hajri was here in our house, right, and in our neighborhood. So she would, or sometimes in our house, like my mother wanted to make a hairdressing. So she would come, this Maiman lady, and she started to give me dirty looks. So I knew, I suspected that it was this Hajri who told her things. Like she told my mother's other relatives. My mother used to go to and take me. Masuma auntie and Zarina auntie, two sisters and their mother. So when Hajri started to come, and when they came to our neighborhood, and then Muqaddas also, my youngest aunt, and they could have trapped us, like, talk on the phone. Oh my God, and we did, kind of. So Muqaddas said, were we badmash? And I said, well, no, like, so they could have, this Hajri, she was talking to Colonel, not the Abbas, Mrs. Abbas's husband, but some other. Mutar told me, look, don't worry, she has lied and she's the one. She came to our house also and called the Colonel, Colonel Abbas, not Mrs. Abbas's, her mother's a friend and also a teacher of Habib Girls' School a long time ago. So, and so, so we need to take names out and call out these bad apples. And yeah, so the fight happened between, because you see these people, how they make, I never said, oh, my sister used to say, I said, can you not love me and all this? And she was like, I felt at that time separated from Mr. Saha, and different environment we grew up in, very different. I couldn't make myself to love her, but I didn't hate her. But when I found out that she's also lying or spreading rumors against my mother, her mother, also in St. Michael's, I got very angry. Like Hajri, a little bit, like lying, I got very angry at her. And like I found a letter in which she's written, actually went through her. I found a letter, like at that time, in St. Michael's, 1989. I was like, I couldn't take it. Any lies and, like I would say hypocrites I don't like. So I found my sister writing something like she used a bad word for a student in college. Boss. And moreover, I heard that she's telling in St. Michael's that my mother's very strict, doesn't let her go to friend's house. And if my mother just tells her, I could see, okay, Homa, when you go to a friend's house, at least give me your friend's number. She wouldn't. And then she found a friend who was taking her, the divorced, her mother was divorced from and so she was with her mother. And they lived in a flat, and they actually lied to, or they just took her one night. She wasn't there. I found that she had disappeared. She's no more there. Where's Huma? The friend and her mother coming to our house took her without asking any permission from my mother. They just took her. And the whole night, she's not there. And then she's told me, then she would go out and tell the St. Michael School that, my sister is a tyrant, Hitler. Because then, but the thing about the letter, so of course recently on Facebook I said, Hajri needs a slap on her face, although I never slapped her. I used to kiss her, and Muqaddas used to say, sorry, I don't promote violence, but sometimes they say that the police लाठी charge होना चाहिए. जो tax evade करते हैं, a law advocate told me that these car road tax they evade, and all these rich people in Karachi, इनको लाठी चाहिए, baton की मार. Now that's not violence. The police say Anyways, if a mother should have slapped or a little bit, no, it doesn't work. Actually, I got angry recently on Facebook on this. I've made a group against them. Maybe Sayyid Yusuf Zaidi, maybe the principal took help. And because Sayyid Yusuf Zaidi told me that his relatives, when that bomb blast took place, suicide, many Shias in the Imam Barga, I don't know how many were there. Imam Ali Raza, Imam Barga and mosque in Karachi, not Iran. Then Sayyid Yusuf Zaidi came and said, no, don't go now. They're my relatives. So now, Hajri and all, they had moved a little bit further. And of course, but they weren't very close to Mevle Shakhrazan, but there's Imam Barga. And she has a knack, Hajri, in making people go against us. But we never took any action. We used to laugh. From Dando Torah, that lady came. Because aunts, we were strong then. But you see now, so for justice, we left it. And she even told me, your sister comes to our place and she feels happy there with us. So I think when my sister was like 2 or 3 years old, Hajri came to me and told me, we're going to make her more studious. You'll see, we'll, make her studious. And she'll be more studious than you. So I said, oh, great. And she's very happy, when the caretaker takes her, brings her to our house. It's just walking distance. It's not like we threw her. And so there's a time she told me that she hated us. Because the way they brought her up to hate, like she's telling me that, my mother, the eldest daughter, she lived in her aunt's place, their auntie, my grandfather's other sister. She never grew up to be like like the way this, what is this? They're complaining that, like this other disowned friend of mine, I don't know, like these are the rumors going around or what. She complained to someone that I was thrown. When I told her, she's like, what? She was your aunt was in the grand aunt, in your neighborhood? Like you didn't throw Huma, your sister? Give away. My mother, my grandparents' firstborn, she was brought up by her aunt, Zara auntie, one of the sisters, like Amin aunties, sisters of my grandfather, and Zara auntie also. She never went around complaining that, my parents just threw me to her sisters and brothers, and she enjoyed her aunt's place, Zara auntie. She loved her aunt, admired her aunt. And how salike wali thi Zara auntie. This, like keeping things in order. Zara auntie like this. Actually in Sindhi, Khoja Sindhi, we say auntie after the name. So that's how I've learned. Sorry. In English, we say auntie first and then the name. So there's. Anyways, so blasphemy, offline insults, blasphemy, and lying under oath. Okay, under oath, the penalties for lying under oath, blasphemy, defamation. Yeah, so like this is extremely strict in UAE. So some of the things I don't agree to. But, I thought we should go door to door in Karachi. I couldn't reach these people. They put Sayyid Yusuf Zaidi, did something 21 days, and when they came, they put such energy on me. And my other cousin coming for Eid, on Eid day, because his wife wouldn't allow him now to, his wife was quite possessive. Another thing, gossip. So he's scared of his Punjabi wife. So now Raju, so this cousin of mine, second cousin, coming for Eid and saying मेरी wife बहुत वो उसको अच्छा नहीं लगता कि मैं तुम्हारे साथ बात भी करूँ, लेकिन नहीं इतना बात नहीं करना चाहिए. So she's jealous. Raju's wife. So Punjabi है तो बेचारी, although she keeps herself good well during Muharram also, but she's still, she's got that insecurity complex about me. So Raju told me, Zara, in year 2000, like how come your sister and other siblings, they're working now, and why is your condition like this? So recently I thought that, okay, if it's my father who did this, but I remember the dialogue from a movie when they're trying to solve a case. Who could do this? Which movie was it? I can't remember the name of the movie. But who benefits the most? So this is what my father told me over the phone. Like, of course, I don't believe everything he says, even if he swears on Hazrat Abbas or Allah or anyone. Mostly Hazrat Abbas or the so because he's lied, right? He swore on me, and he had married another woman now. So I don't believe in his swearing and all this. My mother got very angry at him. Said, that's why my daughter, you swore wrongly on my daughter's life. He wanted to swear on his life, but I told him, no. You swear on my life. because I knew that maybe deep inside that he could be lying. He'll have to lie. And so I saved his life and put my life in danger. This is what I did even in London. We were, there's a Brighton, what do you call that? Terrible ride. So my father and I, we were in the ride, and there comes a turn, right? We're on, like up there on the right. And so I'm like, I held on to my father, said, Daddy, not because I was scared on my side, but that corner turn, right, up in the air, but we're on the right, rails, what do you call it, tracks, over there, but it's fast. And the turn comes where it goes on the left side where my father was sitting, on my left side, and I was on his right side. So I caught hold of my father so that he wouldn't fall. Like I was just scared. So yeah, he's right. So in my childhood, like we were living in London when we were family. Okay, so I didn't, I, he, another lady had come from Dubai. This was another uncle's wife. Told me that your father's married to another woman. And so they were in my room, and then my father came up, and my mother was there too, and he swore. He wanted to swear on himself. I said, no, swear on me, my life and my head. So he put his hand on my head, and he swore that he hasn't married any other lady. There's no other lady, other woman in his life. But Homa, Iqbal's wife, told me when they came to Karachi from Dubai that your father's married, the people have seen him. And someone else also told me, my aunt or someone has seen him, like in driving. He tells us that, I can't take you out for driving because men look and this and that outside that Karachi is thing. Environment is not good. And what men look? I mean, what is this? But he was taking this other woman out, driving, going to pawn shops and all that. They've seen him, people, with another woman in the car. So I thought, okay, he could be lying. So better to, okay, you, on my life. Then he swore on my life, putting his hand on my head. And he lied. So anyway, so what was the point now, coming back? Yeah, so the case was that so my father told me recently, I sent you to London. So when you came back, why would I want you to go insane and do this black magic on you? So another movie, recently I realized, a dialogue I remembered, who benefits from this? But now I changed the dialogue to, because there could be many, my father could benefit from making me go insane because, or for some reason, or another person, or, there are many jealous people, they're very fake friends and family members I've known. We have bad apples, rotten, right? But then I asked myself the question, who would benefit the most from making me go insane? So they use the weakness, yeah, oh, you people, like one of my father had found it, you craving for love, and you people have so much love, like you're needy, you're begging for love, and you're not getting love. I didn't like that kind of a thing. No, we're not craving for love from other people, but just that a civil understanding should be there, like a civil behavior, and reform, human reform. Then I was told by Raju that there's Idar Zehra, who are you going to Because here in Pakistan, head to toe corruption, right? From the beggar, homeless, to the top president, corruption, to the top man in Pakistan. So do you want everyone to go to jail? Or if you put everyone, like all of us will go to jail. Okay, so there could be like from Raju's side also, his mother, or this side also we had in our family, like, so jealousy and enmity I've seen, and this cousin of my mother, Hajiri. But who benefits the most? So my father said, why would I make you go insane and all this? Although he may not want me to go to the principal's place because he'd want me not to love the principal's family, but his family. He's obsessed with his family. Yeah, that's true. And he would want me to get married to his nephew, right? So he could separate me from the person I loved. Wanted to marry in Karachi. And he was a Punjabi, Shia. Yeah, that I can understand. But here, who would want? And so I have been saying my father, also case against my father on Facebook. Also, and here also I've, but here, just remember, so who benefits the most? And then taking my weakness, like, maybe principle, like Hajri and Hajri's, and Yusuf Zeti. And so, okay, I'm different person, and pep talks would not help me. Because you see, these people, they have not gone deep into these matters. Like, even if Atif Malik, like, he liked some girl, but he couldn't marry her, he couldn't get her. So, but he's an accountant, he's studying for more he's doing, and, so these people like Christians, and also, they would say, you're spoiled, like, rich kid, she's spoiled, like, she thinks heartbreak, who is going to sit and grieve? Right? So they could have taken all that, exploited, and said, oh yeah, we want to help. We have someone, like my principal found out through Desi chat. I'm sure someone told her, there was someone. And then, like there's someone on Desi chat who wanted to do this sexual thing, and I wanted to help out, or even find out like who's this person. So I go along with this person, right? Do you think now I'm into it? Like, or someone, or like Mutahar told me, like there could be a repressed feeling from my principal. Something when she took the cards out. What do you call that? Divination about the principal. So I thought like I could help people, or even like if it's my principle, then love and the compassion, or even care for someone, then don't get like, shocked or something you find out about her. We all have our dark sides and others. So I don't suspect. I wouldn't be I don't have a suspicious mind. Like, oh, on the road, if I'm seeing, although I was told, where does this word come? Why would Miss Disa? So my aunts told me, like, my Miss Disa, it came out mistakenly one day, and anyway, so, like two men holding hands in Karachi walking, I wouldn't all of a sudden say, oh, they're gay. No, callously. So even though I know that, there is this thing, and where it's most, or, in America, where are the homosexuals? I was told in San Francisco, I'm not sure. So I can't remember exactly. Like, like, so, but I wouldn't. But there was a time I did suspect someone, and I was like shocked because, the false rumor spread against me and Mr. Sa. And so I wasn't the kind of person to suspect things. And okay, my psychologist once, you're assuming too much about, like this person. That's because the way Miss Desai used to think. But here, in this way, I wouldn't be suspicious. But I got suspicious. And then they, later on, I really felt what I sensed it. And later on, they themselves told me that it was what I suspected was true. They didn't know that I'd suspected it sitting behind in the car, looking at them, and they weren't doing anything, but I suspected them. So and so like this friend, but like these people who, oh, I also like, if a bad thought comes, like, oh my God, no, I'm being unjust. How could I think like this? Right? So we wanted even our thoughts to be on justice. And when angry at someone, not lie against them or exaggerate, just to the point. But in year 2000, what happened to me, Donna? So I exaggerated a little bit what happened in London, the adultery in London. On Facebook, I exaggerated. In the tub, and because I thought, okay, so there was this cousin of mine also that I suspected to have, it was very painful. Has been. And I may never, now I'm reaching, like in 3 years I'll reach, but in my passport, 2 years, I'll reach a senior status, and this poor UAE, either I'll go in the jail, before that, will have to give me like financial help, because as an ex-Muslim, I can't work. Before that, I couldn't work. So I feel kind of guilty. At the same time, so I don't know how to decide. So the point was that all these things, and then it could be the very people, like they found a Mrs. Munira Gulzar, so Abibi was her eldest sister's friend. And of course she knew a family friend of the Fikris, my principal's family. So, people pretending to care, and even these Shias, some of them, like some of Sayyids, they've embezzled people in the name of black magic and all this. Oh, and another thing is, maybe Atif Malik, did I say this? Or so I was thinking maybe Atif Malik is not the brother of the St. Joseph's, who was a teacher in St. Joseph's College, Miss Mary Caleb. But it happens that maybe I felt the coldness and all this because when I was a student there, principal was, did I finish this? Principal was a Muslim. Then the college later on when I went back to get attestations of these forms of mine, to get the degree out from Karachi University, Miss Mary Caleb was kind of cold, and I felt that something is wrong. Anyways, it could be that, these Christians, they got their college back. And now at the time of, people, the best of people may change. But I don't think so. I felt a certain distance and coldness from her. And now she's the vice principal, Miss Mary Caleb of St. Joseph's College. And Sister Emily's back as the principal. So, when the Muslim, it was nationalized, and the Muslim principal and all this at that time. Otherwise, Christians, I don't quite. Pakistani Christians, Goans, all, like it's around the world, everyone, like people, human beings. It's not that because they're Muslims, but I think Muslims have more. So maybe at that time, I felt, oh, she's a real Mary, and the best of people, they can be something, a grudge. And these Christians of like some of these Christians, Pakistani, if they hold a grudge, they are very unforgiving, and some teachers so are very, like they're like no nonsense thing, like that. They're not warm and forgiving and chalo koi baat nahi hum log chale gaaliyan diya 1 minute, like what used to happen. I have been brought up in this environment. Next minute sab theek hai. Gale lag jao, ye karo. Like they're very disciplined. Oh. So, sorry, I can't say it properly, but it's not. I think there are some good things into, like, so, okay, so this, let's see if I can say this properly. So, the St. Joseph's College went back to the Christians, and so at the time of, let me search Miss Mary Caleb. That's when I went to get my degree out. Can you imagine? 1993, I graduated and I didn't get my BA degree out. Oh, all modes, and what is this? So let's see the principals and vice principals. So what ek insan, and maybe what they made me is that I abused, cursed Atif Malik, right? Made me, or I just, what some would say, Bashar would say on YouTube. Oh no, I'm not going to the website, criminal. Let's go to Wikipedia. So things like, what I mean? No, I have to say it. So she was called Miss Mary Caleb, 2009, 2010, principal. And vice principal was he? Or Miss Mary, again Miss Mary, Sister Emily became the principal again, and she was my aunt's principal. Like she was when she was a principal, that was a long time ago, 1970s. So okay, again, Miss Sister Mary, Sister Emily, we used to call her. Very scared of her. Like those days when so this convent school, and Christians are very strict, very scared of them, and they think so maybe she started at that time, principal, nationalized So she wasn't the principal. And sometimes, maybe because I was feeling like, these people, these teachers, and already Mrs. Munira Gulzar in college told me, because I wrote this for, my God, 40, I just have to mute.